Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining. I had a little mess up. I mistakenly scheduled this when my good friend Mario was busy. Mario's going to join us in a little bit. So, this is code. This we're just going to jump in. We're going to do some stuff. We're going to write some code. So, today, what I'm going to get started with is I'm going to jump into this. I have a Spring Cloud Gateway, a simple example that I use to validate my native images. It's got a Gradle build. It's got some cool Gradle integration test hook that allows me to validate that ARM image. And what we're going to do today is we're going to build the ARM image in two different platforms. We're going to build an x86 image using GitHub Actions, and we're going to build an ARM64 image using CircleCI. So let's jump in. Thanks for joining. Let me know in the chat where you're joining from. This is kind of a free form. I don't have a plan today. It's a no plan plan. And if you've got questions, you have something you want us to dig into, just let us know in the chat and we'll go from there. So I'm going to jump and hopefully audio sounds good. I'm going to actually put on some background music. Just a nice little, let's see, night driving. How's that? Just enough to maybe buzz out the Raspberry Pis in the background. So let's go. I said I wanted to do some GitHub Actions. Do I have any of those in here? I'm trying the new interface. What does this say? It says ARM64 native. What this is doing is I can push on dispatch. Also, it'll do this branch. It says, oh, AMD 64 native. So this is building. So if I do a commit to the main branch, what this is going to do is push out using Gradle boot build image. So this is already done. This is already done. This will run on an AMD 64 image, and it'll push out a new version of that image. So really, I don't have as much to do on the stream as I thought I did. So let's jump over. I'm going to go over to CircleCI. And let's see if I can jump in. I want to go. I've got some projects. I got some stuff that's been going on. Let's see if I can create a new one. I have a bunch of stuff in here. This one. Let's set up this project. It says fastest in my repo. I don't have one. Faster commit a starter CI pipeline to a new branch. This is what I did last time. So we're going to get a new template in my branch, and we'll go from there. So now it's running. We can take a look. And really, I believe this is just a hello world. And it works. So it's always good to see green. So now let's go over my project. Let's do a git fetch. And now I have a new CircleCI project set up. So let's check out CircleCI project setup. Now I see that I've got a CircleCI config, and I did this recently. So I'm going to do a little copy pasta from another project. If I can figure out how to open another project, open that Paketo 64. I'll find it. I will find it. I will find it super fast. Because I want to grab the configs that I used for setting up. This is another open source project, Deshaun slash Paketo ARM64. And in this project, I did something similar. Jump up to the top. Orbs are the same thing as GitHub Actions. That took me a while to figure out. Orbs map to GitHub Actions. Do I need to do anything fancy here? CircleCI, I don't need goal. I don't need, maybe I'll need those. Let's see. Let's do this part first. I'm going to grab, this is grabbing a machine type. So where I want this workflow to run is I want it to run on the latest version of Ubuntu on this ARM.medium image. So here, actually, I'm going to do this on another screen so I can easier copy paste without having to go back and forth. I'm going to move this over. I'll move this off screen, and you'll see the stuff that I'm copying over. So my job here, this is now my job is going to be the way, let's call it ARM64, match the AMD64 native. And I'm not using a Docker image. I'm using this ARM64 machine. And I'm going to ignore these parts for a minute. Maybe I can keep some more on the screen as we're all working together. We're sharing. Let me jump over here. And Simon, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you as always. Hello, hello from Azerbaijan. And yeah, we're kind of continuing from where we left off. Everything else worked. The escape issue worked. So I did get the stack working. And now I'm circling back. Now I want to do the same thing. I want to build ARM64 native images for my apps. So not just the stack. So I built the ARM64 images for my build pack, which we're going to be using. Now I want to do the same thing for those images that are going through my pipeline on the way to production. And if we have time, what I will do is I will combine those AMD 64 images, the ARM64 images, into a single manifest from two different workflows on two different systems. I'll combine them into a single manifest so that when I deploy it, I don't really care where I'm deploying it. I'll deploy that manifest with my Kubernetes workload, and it'll pick the one that's right for the host that it lands on. Hello from Mozambique. And this, I'm not using VS Code. This is IntelliJ. It's the new UI in IntelliJ, and this is the first time I'm using it. So yeah, let's learn together. Explore with me as we learn. This is IntelliJ. It looks similar to VS Code, but no, it's not. Magnificent. All right, so I'm going to run this on an ARM64 VM. I definitely want to check it out. I think what I need to do is, the only thing I need to do is the /gradle w boot build image. Jump over here, check out gradle w boot build image. Should be the exact same. So here, I don't want to run the say hello job anymore. I want to run ARM64 native. Put this up a little bit so I can maybe get some more stuff on the screen. Is this readable? Is this readable? Can you guys see enough on the screen? It looks readable on my example up here. Let me know. Talking about VS Code, I actually wonder what kind of impact Fleet will have on it and whether Fleet will become, to IntelliJ IDEA, what VS Code is to VS. Fleet has so much more than VS Code does. I tried it a little bit ago today. Took it for a spin just to see if I could get it to work, because I also want to do this when Mario joins. In the past, we've done code with me in IntelliJ. I want to be able to show the example, especially for a situation like this. Fleet has the capability, so all of us, Simon, I can invite you to join our session and we could all be coding on the same thing. Like yesterday when you're helping Sandro, wouldn't it be nice to just be able to have an ID where we could all jump in and share, and we could see each other's cursors and help each other out. We could give each other examples and share. It's that remote pairing, that remote mob programming, all working on the same IDE. I think that's just it's a cool experience. It's been a cool experience on this show. And yeah, I think that Fleet at some point in the not too distant future will be a huge part of what we do on this show specifically. Says, albeit for that, they first need to release some pricing. Yeah, right now there's no pricing info, and it works really well, but not quite ready for a show like this. But it is. I think I can show you here. Like I have it in. Why don't I see my thing? I can show you my toolbox maybe. Oh, that did not work. I tried doing my toolbox. I definitely have Fleet installed. There we go. using it. We're doing good things. Gateway is another awesome product. The idea that I want to have just some back end system. Maybe I'm remote. I'm on my laptop, but I want to connect to my code base that's here or my language server here. That's what the gateway is for. But the gateway today only works on a Linux system, so I can install that on a Linux system, and I will definitely be doing that before the week is over. It's Wednesday. Hear me now. So yes, we're doing things. Yep. It would be fun. I hope you get it working. And Fleet's indeed more powerful. It's just the pricing. Yeah, what is it going to be? But I have been using JetBrains products since I think 2002 or 2003, 2003, I think. And yeah, it's worth it. Definitely worth it. JetBrains needs to promote their toolbox more. Well, it is a fancy tool. I like it. I use it every chance I get. Hello, Coder Verso. Let us know where you're joining from. For all of you that are just joining the show, say hello. Let us know where you're joining us from. Today, we are working through some pipelines. We want to get our applications from our repository. We've already built our builders. We understand this build tag concept, and now we're going to run our applications through some pipelines to deliver OCI images, one for AMD 64 and one for ARM 64 over on Circle CI. So I have done this. Let's do a get status just to make sure we have the latest and greatest. Remember, we're on a branch, so I feel pretty comfortable adding this. Change to ARM 64 machine. Can you see everything okay? That'll be my ask. I can't see the chat on that screen. Sorry. All right, so now that's pushed. Let me jump back and let's see what we have. So it failed. Let's take a look at why. So what I think all I did was change the machine. Let's see what failed. So it's downloading Gradle, starting the Gradle daemon. It says failed with exception. Dependencies. Something over here. So what else would I need? Is there a way for me to see what went wrong? Problem occurred. Oh, here it's going to lay it out for me. Nothing's jumping out. What else would I need? Could not resolve this plugin. Is this just that it didn't pull things down fast enough? I'm gonna hit the I'm gonna rerun it. I'm gonna rerun it. Let's see. Rerun workflow from start. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Let us know where you're from. Hello from the US, New Hampshire. Welcome. Hello, hello. Hello from Brazil. Hello, Spring Developer community members and attendees. Regards, Spring Developer. Awesome. All right, so I'm not sure what's happening here, but again, this is code. This is not a demo. This is not something I've had prepared. This is something I'm just digging into, and part of it is to share how I work, share what things I'm doing, seeing new tools, getting a chance to pair with somebody. That's what I'm hoping to provide a chance. Maybe we can learn a little bit from each other. And I am not certain as to what's happening here. So it's saying, hey, I can't find this plugin. It could not resolve that plugin. Why wouldn't it be able to resolve that plugin? If I go here, this is also something that I'm not doing proper. So my local box is an M1 machine. This should be very similar. It is able to resolve some of the things. So that looks like it's working. What else? Do we have any other details here? Unloaded Gradle. Oh, wait, it says what? I don't have the right setup here because I want to be able to slide over here. Consumer was configured to find a runtime of a library compatible with, there you go, with Java 11 packages a jar and its dependency declared externally results attribute. But, oh, is it that I don't have a Java runtime? So let's look here. Let's go to Circle CI. Maybe I didn't have a Circle CI. Oops. Compatibility issues. Yep, some of your libraries seem to need Java 17, which makes sense. It said some required 11. If I read yes. So I think what I'm doing locally is I have Java 17 locally, and in order to do Spring Boot 3, this build image, I need Java 17 and I need Graal VM. So let's explore these orbs. Let's see if I have a Java, or what I'd really like is SDK man. Yes, set up SDK man and install. So let's see what that looks like. So this looks reasonable. Use the SDK man elements in your workflow. Opt in. So they're giving me an example here. Set up SDK man, do this. Because, oops, where did they define the orb? Oh, that's the orb source. Okay. Show command source, SDK man install candidate and a version. I think I can do that. Let's see. Let's copy this. Let's put this up here. So this should, whoops, sorry about hitting the mic. This should set up that SDK man. Then I should be able to run this command, right? Or is it? Do the command setup. So they're doing that. I want to. I think I want to do this way. I'm going to do this command. I'm looking at the other example. So after I do the checkout, I want to do SDK man install and have candidate and a version that I need to provide. Candidate. Yes. SDK this Java. Oh, this one. .3 R17-GRL. Let's see if that works. That makes sense? Does that make sense to you? I needed a Java 17 version, so I'm installing the orb SDK man, and then with SDK man, I'm saying, what do I need to do is the setup SDK man first? Setup SDK man? Perhaps. Let's do that. Setup SDK man. And let's see what that does. Right. We're going to do it live. We don't need to do that. Get status. We only change one file. Get add SDK man orb. Install Java 17. Go. It does make sense. Thank you. SDK man is great. I'm a fan. I am a fan. Let's go back to our project and let's see what it looks like. Error calling workflow, say hello workflow. Wait, what? Error calling this job. Cannot find definition for command named setup SDK man. Cannot find a definition. Did I do it wrong? Setup SDK man. I installed the orb. I need to opt in. Maybe that's what I need to do. Where do I opt in? I know that I did this before. That's my project settings. Let me know, jump out. Let me know if you see what I'm doing wrong. Do that. We don't need that. We need that. Thought I did this before. I'm not seeing why. Opt in to use of uncertified orbs in your org's security settings page. Yes, org security settings page. How about I'll do that over here so I don't expose anything I don't want exposed. Org settings. Security says by opting in, I've opted in. Yes. Allow all members of my org to use uncertified orbs. I've done that. And yeah, so that shouldn't be the problem. Clearly, that's set. All right. So let's, whoops, what just happened? Let's go back here. Why is this? That's our process setup SDK man. We don't need to do. This is right. It can't do this part without this part. I'm going to rename this to ARM64 native. What else? What else might be going on here? There was no additional steps. Again, I didn't change anything other than renaming. Cannot find a definition for command named setup SDK man. Hello. You're in config file, subschema matched. Oh, maybe it needs to be this. Sorry. It naming. This should work, right? Jobs are coordinated. Only one subschema matches out of two. Subschema step one. Step one. Expected type string found. Mapping. Well, that's this part, right? Um, you know what? This is a great question. Can you run Circle CI locally? I believe the answer is yes, but I've not done that. Have you? Have you run Circle CI locally? I have not done that, and I'm pretty sure in my experience, my limited experience, that was an option. Should we take a look? Let's take a look together. Local testing with Circle CI, powerful warfare. Awesome. So Circle CI. I wonder if there's a brew. It makes sense, right? Let's try that. Let's try that. I mean, I want to run it locally. Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, maybe this will get us there. I don't know the answer to that. Oh, sorry, let me throw that up there. I mean, I want to run it locally in my Kubernetes cluster. So there's two different approaches here. I was running workloads in my own infrastructure. I'm going the opposite direction. I want to get rid of as much of the infrastructure as I can. I only want to focus on the infrastructure that I need to do the things that I have to do. I don't want to try to re-implement things that I can get from someplace else. Uh, this is a good point. I'm not familiar, and you might be right. And I think now that I peek over to this other project, Henning, you might have just provided the answer. I think that you are correct here. I think what I need to do is SDK slash man slash. Uh, Again, looking at my other example over here. Looks like that's what I need to do. Henning, thank you. Yep, whatever deployment model fits. That's exactly right. Yeah. Status. There we go. Thanks, Henning. Forevermore, you are in the git commit logs. Now let's take a look. But both this idea, I want to circle back on this. Can I install Circle CI brew? Look at that. I bet you. Do snap brew install. I'm going to do this. But if you already have Docker for Mac install, you can use instead brew install. I think I can do that. So let's do that in a new window here. While that's running, let's jump back over here. And let's take a look. We pushed some changes. We think we have it run, and look at now it's running. Henning. See, that's what this is all about. It's people helping people moving forward. Looks like, but I can also open this. I can dig in and I can see what's happening. All right. So now we have Gradle. It did the SDKman install. So it set up SDKman. Fantastic. It did the SDKman install here, which is pretty quick, setting that as the default. And then it looks like now we're into the GraalVM process. Fantastic. Fantastic. You know what I didn't do? I'm in Circle CI. I did not give Circle CI the permissions to publish this to my GitHub repo. but I didn't ask it to. I only asked it to build it. So I haven't asked it to publish it. So it's going to build it, but it's not going to push it, right? Let's look at what are we doing over here. We definitely want to get them pushed. So again, we're in the build. We're not doing a push. That's interesting. I thought I was pushing this out, but let's keep going. If I want to do the Gradle, I don't think I need Gradle to do it. I want to modify my boot build image. Yeah, I think I just want to do Docker push, right? Well, let's go. I think there's an orb that I want to use. Let's go to the orbs. Docker. Super awesome. Docker build push. I just want to push. Build an update. Build without publishing. Build without. Nope. I want to do push. And with push, I give it the tag, the image. I don't need to do the registry. Yeah, I think we need to do a Docker push after that. Let's go back and look at our output. We're still running. It's doing the native image processing. So now, because on the other side, actually, we could probably switch back. Let's go over here on the GitHub side where I'm building an ARM or AMD 64 image. I want to do one more step. Will I have Docker installed with this? No, I don't have Docker. So on my GitHub side, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do a little more copy pasta. So what I need to do is I need to set up a Docker Hub username and Docker Hub token so that I can do the Docker push. I'm going to need to get the image name from the tag. It'll be something like, you know what I should do? Pause on this one. After this, let's do a I only want to run Docker images. Let's see what the name looks like. Although I have it here. Source, dependency here. So it's going to be this project version. So can I use that same project version? Can I use that same project dot version here? How do I get that project dot version? How do I get that same project dot version? How do I get that same project? Let's read. Wait, how am I setting the project version? containers. How am I setting the project's version? I think it's this one that is grabbing the version from the Git tag. We'll see. We'll see. So here's what we're gonna do. We are making a couple of changes just to this workflow. I log in. I just want to show those images. I can do that. And then that should match the tag that I want. Yeah, so I had a dirty tag. That's cool. But it's 0.0.5. This is the native one. Clearly it's smaller. All right. I'm feeling pretty good. So I tagged it. I got the version. If there was changes, it's going to get a dirty tag of some sort. I like that. Does that match what you do? How are you versioning your artifacts? Hello, Angel on Hell. Hello. Nice. Thanks. Welcome. Where are you from? Let us know where you're joining us from. We're building pipelines today. Maybe I'll do a little bit of coding, waiting to see if Mario can join us later. But we're building the pipelines today. So I have those. I'm gonna commit this just so that I can see what that looks like. But I already see it. This is what it's gonna look like. So if I do Docker, is there a way to push all images? It'd be kind of neat. Push all tags in the image. Look at that. Docker images push -A. It makes it super easy. And then the name. Sean dev Sean.service.gateway. Oh, in this setup, I'm just going to push it. This is on this side. Hello. This way. Fantastic. I think that's going to work. Nice thing is, Git status, Git add image to Docker registry. So in my GitHub project, it's already got the secrets for the Docker Hub. Or does it? No, it doesn't. Let's go add those. I'll do that over here. And while I'm doing that over here, let's take a look back. So this worked. The boot build image worked. And we got a dirty version, okay, because we've been making changes here. So what we want to do is now we want to tag the repository so we can get a version, a nice clean version that we can release. But remember this Python that we got generated, we're still on a branch. So we want to also bring this down to a branch. Does this make sense? That every time I commit to main, at the GitHub side, every time I commit to main, I'm going to check out the project, set up Java. Oops. Set up Java 17. Then I'm going to check out master. Yeah, check out master. Grab the submodules if there are some. I don't think there's any in this one. Build the image and then log into Docker Hub and push the image to Docker, my registry. And this is the push all the versions. The version is automatically getting created. I believe it's with this plugin. It's looking at the GitHub, whichever tag it's on. And if it's not on a tag, it gives it that dirty tag. All right, I think that's going to work. Let's see where we're at. Let's see where we're at. This is good. This one's actually going to get kicked off again, but it failed this time. Why? Oh, connection reset. So that's one of those interesting cases where I don't think that was my problem. Let's go back over to the other side and let's see if our actions ran. It didn't. Did I commit those changes? Oh, it's on the branch. So on this side, I need to pull those changes. Can I do that? Yeah, let's do that. Let's bring things down. We're going to go ahead and bring things down to main. We're comfortable. I'm comfortable doing that. We're having fun here. Uh-oh, checks failed. Your test failed. That's fine. Merge. Hello. All right. Let's do a little presto changeo. Close this one. Check out main. Good shape. All of our stuff is on main. This should work. Oh, I'll bet you that got kicked off. It did. Let's look on the ARM64 side. We got two sides of the house here. We have ARM64 because I have an M1 machine and I have Raspberry Pis right there. And then we're going to have the AMD 64, which is most machines these days. Let's look that up. All right, it's building. Let's go back over here. Let's look at my actions. Yeah, we should be running on this side as well. So now we just gotta wait. These GraalVM builds take a little while. So how about this? What are you working on? Put your questions. Let me know what you're working on. What should we work on next? Because it looks like we're getting pretty close on this part. We're gonna be able to wrap some things up and move forward. I'm gonna have pipelines for AMD containers, AMD 64 x86 containers, and ARM64 containers. Right now, the build pack it can't build both versions. So I have two different workflows that are building the images for the different architectures. I have one for AMD 64, one for ARM64. But after those are both done, I can slap them together into a manifest and I can deploy that manifest instead of the container. And the manifest will choose, by deploying the manifest, Docker will automatically choose the right architecture for whatever host is being run. So if I'm deploying my Kubernetes cluster is on ARM64 and I ask for this gateway image on ARM64, by using the manifest, it'll pull down the ARM64 version of that image that we're building right now. And if it's on x86 and I deploy the manifest, it'll pull down that x86 version. That's nice. I can have the best of both worlds. That's what I'm trying to accomplish. What does that look like? What does it look like at scale? Right? This should be an easy process. We want to be able to do this at scale. So after we do it once, I should be able to copy and paste because I'm using build packs. I should be able to copy and paste that workflow to all of my Spring Boot projects. Not a dumb question. Is this different from a Git build? These are very similar, right? Git build, GitHub action. I'm literally doing one side. I'm doing Circle CI because Circle CI has ARM64 support. And on the other side, I'm using GitHub's Actions. So very similar concepts, just different platforms. Um, I missed this part. Simon, interesting. I don't recall you having that one before. Which fill me in on that one. I'm glad. I hope that clarified. Any questions? So as this Graal VM process, it takes a little while to run. What questions do you have? Where are you? What are you working on? Let me know. Pretty here, so relaxing to you and Dan. I've been tinkering a bit more with Spring Shell, albeit it was mostly a lot of headbanging today. Oh, I get it. I am a big fan of Spring Shell. I am slowly but surely migrating all my favorite tools to some Spring Shell equivalent. All right, so this side we're looking at our GitHub action is working. Over here, we're looking at our Circle CI action. I should probably go look at my Docker Hub. So last we had our stack. Simon, you were on my stream as we were building the stacks for my multi-architecture build pack, which we're using. You know what? I should make sure that I'm using the latest version. If I go to build Gradle, it will. That will get the latest version. So that's good. So it's a race. On the Circle CI side, I chose a medium, like their smallest. It's called ARM Medium, but it's the smallest machine they have for running ARM64 workloads. And so far, so good. This has been pretty painless. I honestly thought I was going to have a little bit more to do because I didn't realize I had this workflow done on the GitHub side. So what I need to do, is I need to add, this is going to fail. I need to add the Docker Hub username and password to my secrets in my GitHub registry. On the other side, I think all I have to do is add the context. If I can find it, yep. I think I just have to add the context to the job. So for Circle CI on this job, I think context again. This is a copy paste. Jobs. This is the job. And that job has a context. This is already defined. It already has my GitHub credentials in it. So when this one is done, I'm gonna have to run it again. Add the Sean Docker context to ARM64. It's not all right. It's not quite as descriptive output wise or just swallows errors. Like when it can't create an interactive component, it just mentions nothing and goes along and then exits the command. The interactive CLI part is pretty slick. Let me see if I have an example that we could jump into where we're doing an interactive CLI, like a wizard-like CLI. I do have a project where I'm doing something like that. Let me see if I can find it. And the documentation, not always everything, for example, for the tables, but they're working on it. For example, the tables. The documentation is getting changes all the time, and I have found some discrepancies. If you run into an issue, or if you see where a documentation hasn't been updated, create a PR, create an issue, point it out, call it out. The documentation team on the Spring projects they're amazing. So yes, I have been tinkering with it. If you've been tinkering with it, would you know if the missing annotation support, like Arity, is in the pipeline or is it still a long way out? Tell me more. Tell me more what you're running into. I don't know if you can give me some more info, I might be able to help you out. I don't know what's coming down the pipes, but tell me what's missing, and let's see, is there an issue open for it already? And no need to apologize. Like, that's what we're doing. We're learning. We are learning. I spent so much time just watching this stream, watching the others, watching the rest of the team code. I liked having a partner to code with. So I felt like this was valuable. Hearing somebody else think out loud was valuable to me. So I'm hoping it's valuable to somebody else. Error config file, one schema match two, subschema match, string. What did I do wrong? What did I do? Workflow name, jobs name, then, context. Okay. Configuration. Let's get that YAML parsed properly. Wait a minute. How is this successful? How is this successful? Did I do the push command already? Oh, because I didn't do the push command. I didn't do even the login command. So after it builds, I want to do on this side is Docker push. And the image is Sean dev, Sean service gateway. Now, can I do in this one, can I do tag, comma separated list of image tag defaults to the value of circle CI SHA-1? That's not what I want. I want -A, name of image to push. Maybe if I leave the tag off, maybe it'll do it that way. All right. I was a bit on the fence between have the users pass in the text as quotes, use a high arity, use text component input. And in the docs, they mention infinite arity is not in yet. Got it. And I wouldn't have any idea. Can you tell me more about this right here? And hidden commands is currently only programmatically supported. Yeah, it's there, right? The latest version, the Spring Boot Spring Shell 3.0, the hidden commands is working for you or is not working for you. That is a cool feature. Yeah, since Dan has been taking with Shell this past week as well. Yeah, we can definitely bring some of those ideas over to our other show, Spring Office Hours. We can cross the streams. Like if you've got questions around anything, bring them here. But yeah, we can definitely tackle this next week. But I'm interested in knowing, what are you doing with Spring Shell? What are you trying to accomplish? What is your use case? Tell me more. We did on this show, we did a Spring, we added a component to one of my other Spring Shell projects where I was dealing with images. If I want to have a nice tight Spring Shell that can run on any platform, one of the things that I can't do is image manipulation. So we created a service that my Spring Shell project can call out to in order to get an image, a generated image for whatever I was doing. Maybe we can jump into that. It says here, it works, but you have to use the command registration builder to hide it, and it would be nice to be able to hide it. taking a note to talk about that or to bring that up. If you want, send me a send me a link to your project. You can send it to me on my Discord or Twitter. Uh, all lines are open. You have any kind of questions, I am happy. I definitely like to tackle things offline. That's what I do. But let me get this note for Simon. Simon. Method Spring Shell and Infinite Array. Awesome. Thanks for asking. We, Spring Community, Spring Project, we can't know what to do next if we don't hear from you. So Spring Office Hours is a great place. Code can be that place as well. Let us know what you're working on. Let us know what you're running into. I don't have all the answers, but I do have Slack and I'm connected to the Spring team. So if you've got issues, let us know. Yes. Why not tackle 2 tidbits in one go? I didn't have too much experience with Spring Shell yet, and I wanted to go beyond the usual Spring for web app story. And since OpenAI has, oh yes, 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 absolutely. Do I have? Oh no, I don't have it on here. Maybe I'll jump over to another screen. So let's see where we're at. We have my pipelines that are running over here, ARM64 side. On the GitHub side, logging into Docker was a problem because I didn't set up the username and password. So let me do that off screen. In dev.sean. I'm going to go add some secrets. Secrets, actions. And this, I need to be the Docker Hub username. That doesn't need to be a secret, right? The Docker Hub token does. Let me see if I have a copy of it somewhere. Let me go generate a new one. How's that? Uh-oh. And I need to be Docker Hub token. All right. Let's try that again. Add Docker push. Right. I don't need this one. I'm going to cancel these. Because they will fail. I don't want to waste minutes. I don't want to waste those minutes. So jump back over. Let's take a look at our pipelines on the ARM64 Circle CI side, and it looks like it all worked. Let's see if we had all the steps. ARM64 boot build image. Did I do the push? It got through the boot build image, but did it push? Did I not commit that part yet? Here, we made this change. The Docker push command did not run. Why didn't it? Here we go. Cannot find orb Docker. Oh, okay. Well, that would help. Let's get that orb. All right, and now it should do the push. And username, and I should have secrets. So on both sides, we should be ready to go. Get status and Docker orb and date. Awesome. Docker hub underscore token. Things match. So the real interesting part is going to be bringing these back. Like, where would you do that? If I've got images, I've got two images. I've got an ARM64 image. Let's do this. Let's reset this. So what we're working on right now is, and then I've got over here, and then down here, these are both going to go. So right now it's on every commit. Right, this event is triggered. This is I do want that. I want them to have that same version. Yeah, they should have the same version. This is what I will have, right? These should have the same version. Should have the same version. So now how do we combine those two? Oops, let me take that back. How do we combine those into a manifest? That would be a so somewhere along the line, these same steps are going to have to happen. Somewhere along the line, whether I was doing a Docker build X, if Pack were to do this, somewhere I have to build an image for ARM64. I have to build an image for AMD 64. I might not have to push them separately, but somewhere for all of the architectures that I want, right? What's going to come next is right. We're going to have a RISC-V, right? and I will want to combine those images. I will want to ask for the dev.deshaun.service.gateway image, and I don't want to have to worry about which architecture I'm on. I might be deploying to ARM64. My teammate might want to be validating that image or testing that image or consuming that image in some workflow. They might be doing it on their desktop, their M1 machine. In that case, they're going to pull the ARM64 image. But we want to make it simple. We want to make it simple for everybody. So by turning it into a manifest, that manifest will then have the ability to deliver a multi-architecture image. So whatever I ask, right? Oh, I don't even know how to explain that. Like, this is the win. Does that make sense? Does that image make sense? This is where we're headed. Hello, hello, Akul, Dada, welcome. This is what we're working on. We have kicked off a couple of pipelines. That one's not done. That one's not done. We'll come back. But what we've done is we have our repository and we made a change. And what we want is on that change, we want to generate Circle CI's got an ARM64 workflow. So I can generate an ARM64 native image is what I'm trying to do. I want to generate this fast, statically linked binary that's a native image, super tiny, and I want to let other people use that. So I'm not deploying bytecode. At the end, I'm going to put this into a multi-architecture manifest. So down here, I have the AMD 64 version. I'm going to create two images. Each of these pipelines, my ARM64 pipeline over here, my AMD 64 pipeline over here, they are using the Spring Boot build image or the boot build image from GradleW, the plugin. And at the end of that plugin, I get an OCI image. I'm pushing that image, pushing both of those images. Oh, you know what? Both of those images are named the exact same thing. So when I create my manifest, they've got to have different names. So I've run into a problem. If I do it this way without changing the names of these two images, then my manifest is only going to have one, and this isn't going to work. So this needs to have some tag. Should I do that? We're going to tackle this in just a sec. We're just thinking about taking our Spring Boot, right? I'm a Spring developer advocate, but sometimes my problem is I can't just stop with the Spring Boot app. My mindset is, how am I going to get this app into production? How am I going to get this app to the rest of my team so that they can use it, they can consume it, they can validate it, they can incorporate it and use it and give me feedback on it. So this is where my head's at. I have to get these things, I have to get these projects out. My good friend Dan was asking, like, hey, what does this look like? If I want to build these images, I'm building OCI images, right? The container is the new artifact. This is what I want to pass around. In some projects, I might just want to deploy, like for Spring Shell example, I want to deploy, I have one of those. I want to deploy the actual binary. I think it's Visualizer Plus Plus. But here I'm doing the steps, and when I release it, I'm not releasing a Docker image, although I could. I'm releasing actual binaries. So these are Spring Shell binaries that have been released. So I have a Linux on AMD 64. I have Darwin on ARM 64. I have Darwin on AMD 64. I'm missing a Linux on ARM 64. I need to fix that. But now, guess what? I can fix that Linux on ARM 64 with that Circle CI pipeline. Would I want it to release back to these releases? It all depends, right? That's an interesting question. But yeah, for what we're doing today, I'm releasing OCI images. These are going to be microservices, not CLI tools. I can download this. And I think I can run this. Why is that not already here? I'm going to do that in a sec. So this failed. Not good. What's happening? Simon, why didn't you figure this? Why didn't you see what was happening here? Docker push this. So the tag, it defaulted to this tag and it doesn't have that. So how can I do the same thing that I'm doing over on the GitHub side? Oh, this one failed too. We did the push image Docker images. Oops, did I do something wrong? That was silly. That was silly. I want to do that dash A. How would I want to pass in this dash A with the Docker orb. How do I do that? Before I commit this, let's see what I might be able to do on this side. Not SDKman is working. On this push, no name. The image. We have the name. It's this tag part. Comma separated list of image tag defaults to. How am I going to get the? How do I get current tag? Show which tag you are on. Get branch. Get describe dash tags. Oh. This might or might not work for you. Get tag points at what? Show all tags on current head. So if I do that, get describe. That's what I want. That's what I want. But it says you should avoid. Instead, use. Interesting. Oh, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, undefined. Where's this is the describe dash tags, but that doesn't tell me. Oh, it does. It gives me the same thing. So let's just try that. Where tag I'm not passing that value. How am I going to get that value into here? Does Circle CI have the tag? Let's look at Circle CI's environment variable. Circle CI get environment. Well, it does. Branch. So where's the list? Where's the list of the environment variables? Project level environment variables. No, those are the ones I set. Where's the ones that I get automatically? Makes sense. I totally lost context on this story time. A user wants your user and ideally does not care about the underlying. Exactly. Hello, I'm grateful that I found the stream. Actually, today I was struggling to make GitHub Action for building native image and push it to GitHub Container Registry. This is exactly what we're doing. Look at that. We found each other. That makes me happy. Circle tag. Did you see that? I'm going to just go ahead and take it. I don't see it, but it sounds right. It sounds like a good idea, right? Let's take a look. And let's just call this image tag or circle tag. Try. Built-in environment variables. Look at that. I don't see circled. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Simon, you're amazing. Thank you so much. So I think that'll work. What we think. I don't need to do this. We're just going to try this. And we're going to hope that I'm getting that value from the plugin. So let's give it a shot. So git add. We did two things. On one side, we did we fixed our Docker push. On the other side, we add the image tag. So we're back. Like, I understand that it seems like, hey, would it be nice if we could build all the versions that we needed and just have them in a manifest and be done? Wouldn't that be nice? How would we do that? What does that look like at scale? Because this having workflows defined, I can do that. I'm very comfortable doing that. This way makes sense. I can deliver this. But is there a better way? Is there a better way with what I know now? Is there a better way to deliver multiple architectures? Because I'm doing containers, I really don't care about they're all going to be Linux. And they'll be based on ARM64, AMD64, RISC-V if we get to that. But is there anything else that I need to consider to deliver, right? This manifest is going to be Sean dev dot Sean service gateway 0.0.6. And if I'm on ARM64, I'm going to get this image. I'll get this layer of that manifest. If I'm on AMD64, I'll get this one. The manifest that's going to be deployed is going to be called this. I need to make these images. The images work by themselves. If I ask for this image, it'll work on ARM64. But if I ask for this image while I'm on AMD64, it won't work. So the idea is to give a single name via manifest, and that manifest provides each of the different architectures that I'm making available. So if my developer is on M1 or they're using Raspberry Pi, they can use the service. If they're on AMD64 or x86, they can also use the service, but I don't have to pass around a bunch of different names, right? The alternative is um, 0.0.6 dash 64. so that if you're on M1, you've got to ask for this image. But then at scale, when I'm doing updates, yeah, I've got more checks when I'm pushing things out. I think that this is a nicer way. And that's why I'm going down this path. But this should work. What we're doing should work. So this one's still running. I think they're both going to still be running. We've made some changes. But this is nice, right? The nice thing about this is GitHub and CircleCI are helping me deliver these native images, which can take a little while to build, as we can see. But I'm offloading that. The image, the native image creation should not be a part of my inner loop development. Locally, when I'm doing my stuff, I'm going to do, Maven W clean Spring Boot run or Gradle build run. I don't want to do this stuff. This is for when I'm passing it over to Simon. I want Simon to have a tiny image that he needs to pull down from the registry. 49 megabytes of an image instead of 120 megabytes of an image. That's what I'm trying to do, so that at scale, Simon can have 20 of these images running on his machine. He can pull down 20 of those images. When I push out a new version, a 0.0.7 version, Simon only needs that 50 megs downloaded. And I can do that all over the world if I've got team in Romania, if I've got team in Taiwan. If I'm delivering 50 megabyte images, that's the only thing they need. And if my registry is something like Harbor and I can synchronize those images, the delivery becomes super easy. What's actually going to be downloaded to my local development machine is only going to be that layer of the image that has the app on it, right? If the base image hasn't changed, the only thing I'm pulling down from the registry is that layer that has the application image on it, which is something less than 49 megs. So at scale, this is going to help out for development. Even if I plan on running the JVM version in production. So let's go here. So this is another concern. It's like, hey, Deshaun, like, what about? So these are native images. This is maybe this whole thing, right? Right. Let's pull this in. Hello. Let's go ahead and draw that. Let's go ahead and draw it, right? It's coming. We know that it's coming. It's just a matter of time because have we met? Like, you guys know me. I don't know where it's going to be. Hello. But everything else is going to be the same. But this whole box, this is the native stuff. Hello. I'm going to fill this in a little bit with this guy. There we go. This is the native image stuff. I don't want to make the decision. So here, I'm going to throw this out there. I don't want to make the decision ahead of time whether or not I'm going to use a native image or the JVM image, because the performance, the outcomes that I get from my native image might change over time, right? The value of having a native image deployed to production might change over time. There might be a threshold where in production at certain times of day or week or year, I want those native images deployed. But my big picture pipeline is not going to be, hey, I'm only using native images for this dev.deshaun.service gateway. No, we're not done. From my repo, I'm going to have, why not? Why wouldn't I have pipelines that generate an image right? That way I don't care, right? I don't have to do any of this. I get to bypass. Doesn't matter, AMD 64, ARM 64. Yes, it does. So I will do the same thing. So I'm going to have two flavors. I don't have to build it there. It'll be just as easy though. On native. Hello. Does this make sense? Does it make sense why I want to do this? I'm thinking out loud. GitHub. Same process. Hello. Registry. Does this make sense? I'm going to do the exact same thing. So this naming is going to have to be figured out, right? So I want to have those images. The load of on my infrastructure of having a native image, a non-native image for ARM64 AMD at scale, like those extra, let's call these 120 meg, right? I think that's what they were. 120 versus 59 or versus 50. Some of that's going to be the same, especially in this case. The runtime layer is going to be the exact same. But let's just do like simple math, 240 MB. Over here, it was, we'll call it 50. Oops. What it's going to look like. So let's say before we started this, we were pushing out 120 meg images, AMD 64, and we're at this point where it costs money to run on infrastructure. right? The infrastructure, the ARM64 infrastructure can be saving anywhere from 30 to 40%. So taking this workload, whatever this workload is, and running the exact same workload on ARM64 infrastructure, again, depending on its characteristics, could save me potentially 30 to 40% on my infrastructure. So at scale, depending on how many times you're running that image, how much does S3 storage cost? So for an extra 240 megs, let's just say an extra 300 megs that we're adding on. So it was 120 megs. If you're just pushing out one, you're just doing this same thing. I'm not worried about saving money on my infrastructure costs. Let's talk about that. Today, 120 megs for the Docker image. Directory. Tomorrow, 120 meg. 240 for AVM based manifest plus 100 for native image manifest. So that difference at 340 minus 120 is 220, right? Per service version. Where's that line? Where's that line where if I'm deploying an extra 220 megabytes of disk around the globe for every version that I release, where's that trade-off? Let's say I've got 100 of these images running. And let's say 100 of those images, let's say the difference between AMD and ARM64 is not 30 to 40%. It's going to be 2 or 3%, right? Performance-wise, infrastructure-wise, because maybe the ARM64 doesn't run as fast. There's going to be some savings, though. That's the trade-off. So this is the decision that you and I are going to have to make on our path of reduction. Today, I think that this is a safe move. I think it's safe for me to say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build these images. I want to do some analysis. I want to deploy all 4 of these images that I'm creating. I want to deploy my workload to a JVM running on ARM64, and I want to validate. I want to do some performance tests. I don't want to guess ahead of time. Then I want to do the same thing with AMD 64. I want to deploy it. I want to run some tests. I want to validate. What is this going to look like? Maybe if I'm using Kubernetes, I'm sending traffic to both. I have that same target cluster and it's a mixed architecture cluster, or it's different clusters. And at some other layer, I'm sending traffic to both so I can evaluate performance in real time in production. As long as my code is the same, I'm generating these things off of the same code base. If I've got observability built in, I can take real time data. I can test in production. The exact same code base, running in 4 different flavors in production. I can do that. I can do that with Cloud Foundry. I can do that with Taz. I can do that with TAP. I can do that with Kubernetes. Clearly, this is where I think we should be. We have these tools in front of us where we can save that much money. Again, the larger scale, the more value this is going to provide. So now let's go back. My ARM64 build, it has been pushed. The problem is where I don't see the tag, the dollar tag. The problem is I think I overwrote. So let's go back to my profile. I will definitely have a new version. And 10 minutes ago, I have this. What? Oh, look at this. Oh, okay. So slightly different. This is 3 months ago. So this is the version that both of them pushed. Was AB13. Wait, did they both push? Or is that might just be the one? This is AMD 64. So I don't have an ARM64 version right now because this one I bet finished second. So I need a way, if I'm going to do this properly, I need a way to label these two tags slightly different. Yes, these things do add up. These things do add up. And yes, this is the same reason I'm excited for Project Loom. There is going to be some real value found in some projects. Let's see if we can find some in this one. So what's an easy way? What approach should I take? I'm focused on the native images right now. What approach should I take to label these images so that I can create a manifest from them? So that when I go to my Docker registry, I don't just have the version that got pushed last. I need to come up with a new strategy. So my build Gradle is the exact same. I'm passing in image name here. It would be nice if I had a consistent way or I could just change the tag. So I don't need to do anything here. What if I take a look here, can I create a tag? That's interesting. I already built it. This is interesting. I'm not sure how with this orb, and I'm new to it, with multiple tags. I'm looking for a way of adding. Please hold. And while I do this, I need to step away for just one sec. Talk amongst yourselves. I will be right back. I'll leave this on. Thanks so much for hanging out. I had to step away. I was parched. My mouth was getting super dry. So yeah, you know what, Simon? Thank you so much. Like, this is good stuff. It's always fun to catch up. I'm going to continue on. I want to figure out what's a good way for me to change the names. I know how to do it on one side. So let's do that. This is what I'm imagining. I want to do something where I can just call the tag. What does it look like? Docker tag source and target. All I want to do is this. Tag the version, but I don't know. I have an option. Docker tag help. I have a -a type of thing here. No. What would be a nice way to do it here? I want to have options. I can do it here, which doesn't seem right. It seems like a better idea to do it here. But let's see. Do I have an option with Gradle host OS? System properties, options, environmental. The host. OS family. How about architecture? Hit host architecture, not the operating system. So we have the concept here. That might have to be my next step. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Dan's doing stuff. Maybe I will flip over and join hands. Maybe I'll go ask him what's going on. So I'm doing pretty good. What I've done, what we accomplished today was I have pipelines. I have one for ARM64. I have one for AMD64 that are both pushing to my Docker Hub now. The next steps are I need to give them different names, and then I need to combine them into a manifest. So something that I've been doing in another project I think those steps will be easy. It's just I need to figure out how to name those different images, and then we'll do that next. So with that, I'm going to call it good. This is a good spot. We had fun. I got a lot of questions answered. Thank you for joining. And yeah, let's do this. Let's all go join Dan's stream, youtube.com/@Dan Vega. That's where I'm headed. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next time on Code.